Welcome to Post Game Live, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. There it is. It is final. It is over. The Buffalo Bills beat the Patriots 35-23. That means the Patriots finished their season with a record of 8-9. They are not going to the playoffs. The Miami Dolphins are going instead. The Dolphins beat the Jets today 9-6. So the Patriots 8-9. Their 17-game regular season is over. Here with Tommy Curran, Ted Johnson, Matt Cassel, and fellas, just want to get your impressions on an adventurous packed day in Orchard Park, New York. Tommy Curran, what'd you see?
Coming into this week, I figured, okay, you know what? Table 2023 is a season for now. Pour everything into this game in terms of fan attention, media attention, the Patriots themselves, and see how it goes. And you know what? When you look at this game, it did have a playoff vibe to it. Yeah, they lose by 12. And the 5 touchdowns that Buffalo scores are a result of a variety of things. 2 on Patriots breakdowns, 3 on the uniqueness of Josh Allen creating them. But in the end, this shows the gap between the two teams. But the competency level, Ted, I just liked the fact that the Patriots were able to close with more than a shred of dignity and not be their own worst enemy. And it's hard to say that when there's 2 kickoff return touchdowns.
I hear you.
But I'm still saying it.
No, I hear you. I'm going to kind of piggyback off you to some degree. Look, I mean, it was a competitive game. I mean, that was you were kind of wondering, last game, do they really want to advance this season? Some of the reports you've been hearing this week and just the way they've been playing. But it looked like they wanted to go out there and they wanted to win this game against all odds. I thought they showed up and really gave it to the Bills. In that first half. And then just kind of like I think what's going on this season, something that you didn't expect to happen in this game happened, and to some degree. The Patriots are a dominant third quarter team. They are one of the best teams in the NFL in the third quarter. And the third quarter blew up in their face. They had a promising drive to start the third quarter. I mean, they go almost 11 plays before Mac Jones throws an interception to Tre'Davious White. And then so they turn the ball over right there in the red zone, but then the Bills give it right back to the Patriots.
Right.
And the Patriots are only able to get 3 points on that instead of 7. Then they kick off the Bills, and the Bills run it back for a kickoff return for a touchdown. So the third quarter, which has been their best quarter all season long, failed them today, and that just goes kind of with how the season's gone all season, Matt.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, they showed up to play. I mean, to go into at halftime 14-14, giving up the opening kickoff for a touchdown, but be in good position. They go on that drive, but really it was the end of the third quarter. Like you said, it was, again, the kickoff return for a touchdown. Then from there, 2 explosive plays that really changed the outlook of this game because they battled. Offensively, I thought they had the best production that they've had all year long in terms of sustained drives, putting play after play together, executing on third down, even on the 4th and 1 situations. And it was interesting to see how they came out because normally they're a run-first team in those situations. They came out and threw almost in every one of those situations. Defensively, they battled throughout the day. They created some turnovers, but at the end of the day, the kickoff returns and special teams, that was just too much to overcome. And at some point, you knew that the light was going to come on for the Buffalo Bills, and it did with some explosive plays. And Josh Allen, they talk about him as an alien. They talk about him as this, that, and the other.
He is.
But he finally did show up, right? Yep. And some of those plays are just uncommon. There's only a few guys in this entire league that can make those.
He's a cyborg, man. That guy's he's slowly becoming my favorite quarterback to watch. But what was frustrating too about this game is I don't know if the meats of the team, the offense and the defense could play much better than they did in this game. I mean, that special teams giving up 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns was a killer. But I don't know if the defense and this offense can play much better against the Buffalo Bills. I know they had a lot of extreme circumstances that they had to play through, that being the Bills. But I was going to think that was going to be a motivator for the Patriots. They just had be even at halftime. I thought was. I don't know. It's look, the season's been disappointing, but overall, I like the effort in this game.
As a capstone to the season, Mike, I don't hate it. I've hated so many portions of this team because I thought the season was a little bit self-inflicted. You had a talented enough roster. You had a talented enough quarterback. And the Patriots kind of self-inflicted their issues on themselves. But today, they played with a level of competency against an impassioned team that had everything to play for in so many ways. And the Patriots showed up. So I like the way they finished their season.
Yeah, it was a competitive game, but there were a lot of but situations in this game. And let's go to it with the kickoff returns. You think about this. If you're Bill Belichick, a guy who early in his career established himself as a passionate advocate for special teams players and special team coaches once he became a head coach, you got to think, man, your money let you down today. I mean, the Patriots invest a lot of money on special teams with gunners and.
Why the breakdown on that left edge, Ted
Okay,
Johnson?
you think about this. Okay, here's one. To begin the game, you got to play this game perfectly.
Looked like
and
Jabril
from
right
the
there.
top,
Yeah. Lost contain,
off the
perhaps.
top, you give this up.
Can't get
and
pinned
then-
inside, Michael.
And then the second touchdown, the kickoff return, same guy. They get it again. And then when you try to avoid them, fellas, tell me about this. When you
Gotta
try
make the
to
tackle.
when you try to avoid a third kickoff return for a touchdown, they instruct Nick Folk, okay, squib kick it up the middle, squib kick this thing, and it goes out of bounds. So
Here's the second one.
Here's the second one.
What's wild
Missed
about
tackle.
these kickoffs?
Watch Miles Bryant.
Freeze
Watch
it right
Miles
in.
Bryant on
Is
this
that
one.
they are
Yeah, I mean, that's-
virtually untouched players.
Gotta make that play right
except for
there.
that. That's the only touch on
Gotta
the
make the
200
tackle.
yards worth of returns.
That's true. I mean, it's not just one, right? And I think it's a fair point. Like what Tom's saying is like we can point out maybe Jabril Peppers on the first one and Miles Bryant right there.
1, 2.
But you know, it's in the entire unit, right? I mean, you got to condense that down, and you got to stay in your lane, and you got to. Everyone's got a job to do, and it shouldn't be that much space to work with if you're a kickoff returner like the Buffalo Bills had today. That was just too much space, and very difficult to ask those guys to make a play by themselves.
And you talk about special teams unit. You know, it's such an important factor in the game, and there's such game-changing units. Like when you go out there and you have special teams, we always go through it. It's the first thing in practice every single day that you go out and you practice your special teams unit, whether it's punt, whether it's kickoff, and all the different aspects of it, because it's such an important part of our game. And it's the third phase, right? And if you're not tight in that third phase, it can change the outcome of the game. And today, it was the most impactful that we've seen all season long, where you have letdowns on special teams, and it leads to 14 points. And that really changed this entire game from the start of the game, and then also in the third quarter, that changed the momentum of it.
I'm not a big guy for calling for heads. I'm trying to stay away from that.
But right.
There needs to be
Everyone's
a
thinking it.
change of leadership. I don't care if Cam Akord gets a terrific job within the organization, but they have
gonna
to
happen.
change the leadership for the special team.
Scouting.
I don't think it'll happen. When's he ever?
Well,
they'll ever fire a coach?
You mean
Oh,
you
you
don't
mean
think
firing?
you don't think he's going to be reassigned, as they say? You don't think?
Does Bill reassign coaches? I mean, what's his
yeah,
history with that?
occasionally.
Well, occasionally.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he rarely does it. I'm just
Well,
saying,
he
don't
did-
expect it. I'm just saying, he doesn't fire coaches. He might not re-sign guys when their contract's done. But I don't know if I've ever seen him reassign a coach. Well,
Sure.
But because of
Okay.
because of punishment.
Dean Pease
Dean
would be a
Pease.
guy in 2009, Dave DeGuglielmo, even after they won a Super Bowl, and then in 2015.
All right.
So the upshot of it is, between the decline of Jake Bailey, between the block punts, between the mistakes that we've seen on coverage, on punt block, on punt protection, you can't continue
mess.
with that. It's
Yeah,
costing massive amounts of field position and points, and it has to stop.